What's going on, everybody? Mike here from Ace Garage. Welcome. And today we're back with episode number 4 on our Civic Type R FK8 Spoon Sport catalog build. On the last episode, we were able to finish up the engine bay, including the Spoon upgraded turbo, PRL goodies, and also the Hyundai upgraded fuel system. Now, in today's episode, we're focusing on the exterior, including the Spoon bumpers and also the outside mirrors. Now, in order for us to do that, we're gonna have to take you guys to the body shop. So at this time, we'll pass you guys with Brian.
Now moving over to the body shop and getting these bumpers test fit, especially the front bumper, needs just a little bit of trimming to the front beam. So all we have to do is take our saw and cut out a little bit of aluminum so that the back of the fog light housing can fit and the bumper will fit properly onto the vehicle itself. Now that we have the front bumper all test fit, we went ahead and already put a coat of primer on the front bumper and worked out all the small gaps and defects along the way. Things that come with fiberglass, little pits and chips along the way that are in the gel coat. Now the first step is to obviously protect the carbon fiber that we do not want any of our championship white paint on. You see this bumper will be painted in champ white, cleared, and then sand it back down again, and then we'll add the black and then re-clear coat it. So that's what you're going to see here in the next few steps. We'll get this painted in champ white, we'll take off our tape, we'll sand it back down, we'll get it cleared, and then we'll spray our black. Now, as you can see, it looks really good. We have our carbon fiber sanded down from previously, and we have our champ white base coat. So at this step in the game, we're gonna add a coat of clear. And the reason why is we wanna create a barrier between our new black and our tape. See, we don't wanna put tape on fresh base coat. So we're putting clear coat down, and this will create a nice platform for our next stage, which will be taping off for our black inserted area of the bumper cover. Now what we'll do in the next few scenes is we'll see sanding it down, and we're going to use here a P600 sandpaper to get it all completely scuffed and dull again, and then we'll go ahead with our scheme according to the customer's request, and then we'll get it all cleared up and it will look phenomenal. And you can see the result is absolutely stunning. A beautiful finish that matches the vehicle and is ready for install. We also got the rear portion diffuser painted. That'll be for the rear bumper that we're about to start right here. Now for the rear bumper, we did it in the same way. I actually went ahead and I got the primer already on it. This is already with 2 coats of primer, and we're sanding it down and prepping it out. You know, these bumpers really don't come anywhere near perfect, but they are the best fitment out of any aftermarket fiberglass bumper that I've seen. So anything aftermarket is going to require some love, and that's just what we had to do. We spent countless hours getting it ready. You know, in the video you see how quick it happens, but there's countless days behind prepping and test fitting and everything it's going to need to take to get these bumpers back on the vehicle and look as close to OEM as possible. So what we're doing here for the rear bumper is going straight up champ white, which is actually different for us, and we actually did like the way it looks. Really can see how far the bumper stretches out towards the ground when it's all one color. So a nice change for us at Acura Honda Classic to see the bumpers painted in a different way, which we do appreciate that as well. So what we're going to be doing here is get this thing all based up and then clear coat it, and then towards the end we got our spoon mirrors. We're going to get them all sanded down and painted as well, and this whole build is really coming together very well. And with that, we're going to go ahead and finish up these mirrors, get a nice coat of clear coat on them. We do 2 coats of clear for everything we spray, 2 high solid coats of clear, and that's enough for UV protection and durability. Now we got everything pretty much done, and we're going to turn to Mike and get everything back installed on the vehicle and cosmetically take a look at how awesome it does look.
So Brian got both bumpers all finished up here. We want to go ahead and get the bumper mounted up, but before we can do that, we got these chassis beams that we have to install.
They're called motion control beams.
Oh.
And if my Japanese is correct, they go there on the car.
Oh, that's very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, thank goodness they gave me pictures or else I'd be in trouble. We use Google Translate, but still doesn't really fill us in too much. But so it looks like this part attaches to the chassis before the bumper installs in splash shield. Then we have this bracket that installs after the bumper and splash shield are installed. And then this is our mounting point for the actual beam, which we haven't even opened up yet. But yeah, so it seems like it's a pretty straightforward install. I think you don't have to pull the bumper off to do it. You could probably, if you were to install this on your own car, you could probably just pull your splash shield down and be able to get to everything you need to do.
Now for the back, I know it mounts on the beam, so the back you kind of have to pull the bumper off.
Yeah, the back you have to pull the bumper off, and it actually uses these bolts where the bumper support sits. You can see it here. Oh, excuse me, I apologize. And it has little spacer brackets to move it out, and that's how it installs in the back. These are like a hydraulic dampener, if you will, that's supposed to help assist with body flex. I don't know how much body flex is in a Type R, but I do know that in the front in general, when we were looking at my Integra, this subframe is different. It's like a U-shaped, and there's not actually a connection across the front other than the composite radiator support. This beam is just there for the splash shield to have something for the clips to go into. So this actually goes from these points right here and gives you some sort of a, I guess, a strut bar, if you will, for the front. And I remember we were talking about that when I was looking at the Integra. So the Integra is very similar to this setup, except for with all this fancy suspension that my car doesn't have, but this one definitely does.
So I guess we could do some of the preliminary installation for the brackets.
Yeah, these guys.
For the front, and then we'll install the back, and then so once we mount the bumper, and that's it, we're not taking it back off.
No, I mean, at least we plan to take it back off. So this piece here will fit after the splash shields go over it, and it will attach here and to this 10mm bolt that goes through the splash shield. And this is the bolt that comes with it. And this gives us a place to mount the beam, which will be here. And they give some bolts for that too. And the whole thing will sit right across here. And then hopefully that will take some of the chassis flex out of the front end on here.
And we are all done in the front for now until we're ready to put the bumper on. Now let's go ahead and move on to the back. In the back here, the motion beam does mount up on the reinforcement bar. Over here we have two bars. We have the factory OEM one, and also we have a JDM one here. Now, in order for us to fit the spoon bumper, we either have to do two things, either trim the OEM reinforcement bar or get a JDM one. Instead of trimming it, we're able to source one from Japan and went ahead and painted flat black, so it look really nice once we put on the bumper. Now next up, let's go ahead and mount up the bar, and then we can go ahead and install the spoon motion beam. And the Spoon Sport motion control beams all done. Here's the bumper here. Brian got it all set up on the table. Brian, it came out really, really nice.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the way it looks. A little bit of experience working on these goes a long way. Things just go a little bit quicker, a little bit easier. You know what to do, what to modify to make it work. So this one's a little bit different styling. As we mentioned earlier, it doesn't have the black. And I kind of like it because it's different. I've never done it like that. So it kind of shows a little bit more of the bumper because it's all white. And moving along to the front bumper, we talked with the customer and we agreed at a good cutoff line would be right behind the lower part of this portion. So we still have a little white here, and we opted to keep this all white as well. So a little bit different, and I actually do like it. The lines came out beautiful. It looks great. And now it's the fun part to see what it looks like on the actual vehicle. So we're gonna go ahead and do the install. Let me kind of show you guys a little bit how it works before we actually get into the next few scenes. So this is different from your typical OEM install. A typical OEM install would have the brackets here that the physical OEM bumper will click into. The way that this install works is it actually utilizes the 2 holes inside of the bumper. The third hole actually has some clear tape on it because it's not used, all right, so no water gets inside. So if you pan over to the trunk area, you'll see that we removed the carpets, and this is to gain access to the inside of the trunk. And what you'll see is we're gonna go ahead and use bolts, and those bolts will connect to the inside of the bumper. There's like a little socket area waiting for it, and that will tighten it up from the inside. So it's a little bit bigger deal to install these bumpers, but once they're on, they're really, really on very, very well. So next few scenes, you'll see us put these bumpers on, and then we'll put the taillights in, see what the rear looks like, and then we'll head over to the front and pop that in.
just like that, we all finished up in the back here, and I think next up we work on the front, huh, Brian?
Yeah, it looks really good. So on the front, we started to get the grills assembled, and then the fog lights, and then from there we'll go ahead and we'll pop it on, and then we'll have to take very carefully pop it on in the corners because it is fiberglass. But we've done many test fits before, and it's really went on really well. So we're confident that it should be just fine. So let's go ahead and get to it.
All right, so Brian has everything on as far as the bumper goes. We reinstalled the intake, pretty simple, just clips on. Now we're trying to get all these clips on for the plastic here. Everything's a little tight because the bumper is fiberglass. So we're gonna see if it's gonna be necessary for us to go ahead and open up the holes a little bit more or not. Let's give it a try.
And guys, just like that, we are all done with the Spoon front and rear bumpers along with the Spoon mirrors. Now on the next episode, we'll be jumping into the braking system along with the suspension. You definitely don't want to miss. You gotta like what you see. Consider subscribe to our channel and also follow us on our social media pages, both Instagram and Facebook at Accurate Honda Classic. My name is Mike, on behalf of Ace Garage. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week.